Hi everybody, my name is Heather Smith. I am a mother of Ashley, Zoe, Veda, Landon. Well, I have to count because I have so many. I'm a mother of 5 kids. I have 1 boy and all the rest are girls. The reason for me making the decision to start putting out videos of my life is because personally I think it can help a lot of mothers out there that are stuck staying at home. I think it can help probably help people that are having marital problems, and I don't know, I've just always felt like my life has so much weird stuff going on that I could write a book. An example, this breaks my heart. I got a phone call from my brother, and he was like, "Have you heard from anybody?" And I was like, "No." And when somebody starts a conversation off that way, the first thing you think is like when your parents are dying. Because my dad is like, he's had many heart attacks, and I know it's coming to that time soon. But thank God he wasn't dying. My mother had gotten into a car accident. I guess some young 32-year-old guy on a crotch rocket just slammed right into the side of her and ended up dying. So that's just one of many weird things that just go on in my life that I have to hear about or deal with. So my poor mother has been in her bedroom praying for his soul. She feels like it's her fault and it's not. Just to update you on that story. Anyway, hopefully I don't bore you. Hopefully I inspire you. Hopefully I can show you that, hey, we're all going through kind of the same loneliness or weird feelings and happiness and lows. And I mean, life is a fucking roller coaster. So here you go. This is my life as of right now. I guess I should probably start off with telling you my life story up until now. So grab a seat and I'm going to fill you in. I was a wild child. I liked to have fun. I didn't like anybody to tell me what I can and cannot do. And so with that, I screwed up high school. I never graduated. Never really learned anything. Breaks my heart. It's probably smart if I go back. It's something I'm really considering. I am 40 years old. I ended up getting pregnant at 17. I had her on my 18th, just before my 18th birthday. I had her. I rented, lived off welfare. My boyfriend, which was the father of my first daughter, ended up becoming very violent and physically controlling. He would not allow me to leave our apartment. He would block the door. If I tried to call for help, he would bite me in the shoulder. One time he tied me in a closet with belts up to the bar. Another time, and trust me, I kicked his butt back. I didn't just let him do all this to me. I mean, I fought back pretty good. Another time I tried to call for help out my window, and I'll never forget this. He bit me in the shoulder. I ended up finally escaping him and leaving, and I've never went back. I'm not one of those girls to just go back. So I'm very proud of myself for that. I did eventually introduce my daughter to him when, he had gotten married and chilled out, supposedly. And that didn't go too well. He was just as mentally jacked up as he was back in the day. Which kind of ruined my relationship with my daughter. I did not want to be like that woman you hear about on the talk show who says, "Hey, you got this dad you never knew about." I didn't want to do that to her. I wanted to always be fair and real with her, and that's why I am you know, when I felt the time was right, I had brought it up to her and allowed her to go meet him, and then started visitations. And I never charged him for child support until towards the end, but we did that like throughout court. Not in court, we did it outside of court. I won't get into detail all about that, it'll bore you. Anyway, I ended up putting a stop to that. I got married to my, well, I thought it was my dream guy. His name was Robert Woodworth, and we're still friends. It's funny because I feel like I'm going off. I swear I have ADD. Anyway, I married this guy, Robert Woodworth, after Ashley's dad, which his name was Rob too. That's funny. And I don't know how long we were married for. Oh my gosh. We got separated and divorced. We separated and divorced around the year of 2003. And I think I started dating Robert in 1994, I'm thinking. That was fun. You know, we were both wild. We partied a lot on the weekends. I wouldn't say that makes me a bad mom, because the kids would go to families on weekends and spend the night, like grandparents and stuff like that, and then we would have like big bonfire parties, and we would have our time on the weekends. Am I like that now? No. Anywho, all that added up to eventually cheating and just not a very good marriage. We married very young, so of course it's not going to work. We ended up, divorcing in 2003, and then I ended up meeting somebody online through a website called Face the Jury, where you would post a picture of yourself, and then you would get rated from, like, I don't know, 1 to 10, and you could chat on there. Well, anyway, I chatted with him for like 4 years. I had no interest in him. There was no attraction. It was just pretty much like a friendship. And eventually, towards the 4th year, it ended up becoming something more, and he drove all the way out from Circleville, Ohio to Holly, Michigan to come see me, and we've been together since. Now, which I left out, I can't believe I did this. My first husband, Rob, me and him had 2 children. We had Zoe, and then we had Veda. Okay, so now we're all set. So now I have 3 kids. I have Ashley, which is my first, Zoe, and then Veda. So me and Chad ended up getting serious, and I did not want any more kids, but I kind of felt like I should break up with him then, because it's not fair to date somebody that's never had their own child and never give them their own child. He would be better off with another woman who's willing to do that, because that's an experience I think everybody should experience, is having a child in their life. So unselfishly, I did get pregnant, and I had my first son, and we named him Landon. He's such a blessing to us. And then later on in 2000 and, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. I can't believe I'm having this brain fart. Okay, anyway, we have a 3-year-old daughter, Evelyn, a year later, but there she is right there. My precious little girl. So here we are. I had if any of you women have ever gone through court over custody, I was so scared. I was crying. I was hysterical. It was damaging my marriage with my second husband. I had no money for a lawyer. My first husband that was taking me to court for custody, I think a lot of this was not so much him, it was more his new girlfriend, because, you know, hey, it's more money. We won't have to pay our child support if we get custody. I think that's what it was all about. And shame on them, because it kind of messed my daughters up in the head. I mean, they're fine, but it really, it does damage. But anyway, you don't need to be scared if you ever go through that situation, because if you don't have any money for a lawyer or anything, because truthfully, the judge kind of looks at you with more sympathy if you go into court without a lawyer. I ended up hiring a lawyer, but I ended up having to get rid of him late in the middle of the case, which was embarrassing because I couldn't afford him anymore. Which led up to, and this is weird that it's gone to this extreme in court, but we had it to where we had to question each other on the stand. And normally my lawyer would do that, but I had to because I didn't have a lawyer. That was probably one of the most scariest things besides my divorce, figuring out how I was going to pay for my lawyer during that. But this was the second painful, scary thing I've ever had to go through in my life. And I survived it, and I won. And it's funny because he had the best lawyer money could buy. I ended up forgiving him for it, and we ended up pretty much becoming friends, not buddies, but friends. And it's funny because now I'm living in Florida, and when I had moved here, I was his neighbor. We lived next door to each other, and it was funny because he used to cut my grass. And no, it's not what y'all think. It's not like there was nothing there. It was almost like you still look at the person as a family member, but you don't look at him like a husband anymore. You just look at, like, you know, I care about that person because I've known him for so long. That's just how it is. So now I've got you all the way up to where I'm at. I moved to Florida. I felt it was time to get away from the snow and go somewhere happy. Because I battle depression sometimes. I think everybody does. I don't know if it's our food or what's in the air. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's hereditary. I don't know if it's a spiritual warfare where things get attached to you throughout life. I don't know. Because I've lived in, I don't want to weird you guys out, but I did live in a very haunted Victorian house when I was married to my first husband, and I wouldn't be surprised if things attach themselves to me. Which is weird, because now I'm jumping back. That led me into paranormal investigating, and I ended up joining a paranormal investigation team and traveling around. Spent the night at Lizzie Borden's house, investigating there, investigating people's houses. They would hire us. And then I ended up starting my own paranormal team, which I called GOSUM, Ghost Hunter Society of Michigan. And that was a team of, like, I don't know, 7 of us. So I did that for a very long time, and then my husband now ended up saying, you know, you really shouldn't do stuff like that. It's kind of ungodly, blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to drag you all through that part, but, you know, I fell in love with the Lord and gave it up. But things have changed. I've kind of gotten back into it a little bit. I don't do investigations, but let's just say I'm very open to that. Whether you believe it or not, it's out there. I guess to each their own. But that, I think, can play a role in people's emotions. So this video, too, will help you see if, you know, if you're going through, you know, these ups and downs in life, how to get over them, how to deal with them, and that you're not alone. So here we are. I'm living in Florida. I had to leave my girls behind because he wouldn't allow them to come. That was the 3rd most painful thing in my life that I had to go through. So this is crazy how this worked out. But my ex-husband's father is opening a heat treating plant in Mexico. Or no, sorry, Texas. And he wants his son to go. And so he's going, and the girls don't want to go with him. There's been some other problems with my ex-husband. He kind of, I'm going to leave that out because out of respect for him, but there's